This video is going to be about the x and y intercepts of a graph. So here's what we're talking about. Let's see, I've got a graph. So I've got the x-axis and the y-axis. And let's say I have a line that goes through the graph like this. And let's say that this point here is at 1, 2, 3, 4 on the y-axis. And this point here is at 1, 2, 3, 4, -5 on the x-axis. Well, the line of my graph intercepts the y-axis at 4. So this point here is called the y-intercept. Since this is a vertical line, it's sometimes also called the vertical intercept. In the same way, I've got this point here at -5, and this is where the line intercepts or cuts through the x-axis. So this is my x-intercept. Since the x-axis is also a horizontal axis, it's sometimes called a horizontal intercept. Okay, and that's what the x and y intercepts are about. Now, this can be really useful. Let's take a look at this. So let's say we've got this equation, 3x plus 2y equals 6, and I have to graph it. Well, I could change the form of the equation around so I've got the y all by itself, and then I could make a table of values and figure out what the x and the y are in a number of places and connect them with a line. But let's do it a little bit differently. Let's make a table of values, and let's just put in 0 over here. So what I'm asking is, when x is 0, what is y? Well, when x is 0, this part of the equation, 3 times 0, is unimportant. It doesn't exist. So then I have 2y equals 6, and this becomes pretty easy. We'll just divide both sides by 2, and we'll get y equals 3. So this is a point on my graph. Now, let's put a 0 over in this column. Well, when y is 0, it's as if I've crossed that out. I've got 3x equals 6. That just means I have to divide both sides by 3. So I'm going to get x equals 2. Okay, so these two pairs of numbers, 0, 3 and 2, 0, will be places on my graph. And if I wanted to, I could write them as ordered pairs, 0, 3 and 2, 0. Okay? Clear enough so far? Now let's look at a graph for a second. So let's say I have this graph, and this is x, and this is y, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So my tick marks tell me where I am. But instead of the tick marks, I could put in an ordered pair for this point. Okay, so this point here is when x is 1, so x is 1 and y is 0, which means I'm crossing, let's find something to cross with. X is 1 and y is 0, so I'm right on this x-axis. This point here is 1, 0. This point over here would be 2, 0. If I go down to negative numbers, let's go down to, I don't know, -2. This point here is -2, 0. Every point on this line is going to have an ordered pair where we have some number for the first part, for the x part, and that number we could find by just looking at the x line, the x-axis. The second number will always be 0. Now, in the same way, every point on this y-axis could be labeled with an ordered pair where the first number is 0, and the second number is the place on the number line where I am. So this would be 0, 2. This would be 0, 3. Down here at -3, I would have 0, -3. So going back to this ordered pair, I can look at this ordered pair and realize that the first number I'm looking for, this 0, 3, is going to be on the y-axis. And actually it'll be right here. The second number, 2, 0, is going to be on the x-axis. And then all I have to do is take a ruler, a straight edge, and connect these. I don't know why that doesn't work sometimes. So this line here will be the line that has an intercept at 0, 3 and 2, 0, and this line will be the line for this equation. So here's the thing to realize. When we replace the x with a 0, what you get by solving the equation is the y-intercept, because the y-intercept happens somewhere where x is 0. When you replace the y with a 0 over here, you get the x-intercept, because the x-intercept happens somewhere along the x-axis where y is 0. And that's all you need to remember. So in other words, if you're given an equation that looks like this, the easiest thing to do is to solve it two ways. Solve it once where x is 0, figure your solution, write down the ordered pair, then solve it again when y is 0, over here, figure out your solution, write down the ordered pair, plot those 2 points on a graph, connect the graph with a straight line, and you're done. Okay, hope that helps. That's it for now. I'll see you next time.